Today we're going to be talking about your first duty station, guys, whether that's going to your first duty station, just kind of how to navigate it, and just how to not be that guy or girl at your duty station. But without further ado, let's get to it. What is up, guys? Ben Allen back again with another video, and like I just said, we're going to be talking about duty stations, primarily your first duty station, right? This is the one where you may be a private, fresh out of basic training, AIT, right? And you get shipped out, you show up to wherever it is you're going, whether it's Fort Hood, Fort Bragg, whatever, right? And you're nervous, you're scared, you have no idea what to expect, and you're just kind of like a deer in the headlights, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck is gonna happen? But we're here to just give our advice, our experiences with our first duty stations, and maybe that'll help you kind of just navigate what is life in the Army after AIT, right? But these are my beautiful guests, guys. We have Yanka, we have Ty. They're both currently still in the Army as well. I'm out, for those of you that are wondering, and they're just going to share their experiences and their tips on how to get through your first duty station. So we'll start with Yanka, and she'll just kind of go from there.
Okay, so when I arrived to my first duty station, I was very lost. I bussed from San Antonio to Killeen, and they dropped me off at the Killeen bus station at 06 in the morning on a Sunday, and I knew nothing about the city. I knew nobody there. So it was very complicated. Luckily, some of other soldiers that were also in AIT were dropped off there as well. So I got to ride with one of them to get on post. When I arrived at the facility in Fort Hood, is called Copeland Center. The reception picked me up and dropped me off at the hotel, and then I didn't see anybody for days until my NCO finally reached out to me, and then he picked me up and took me to my unit. But I didn't have a sponsor, I didn't know what I was doing. So the one tip that I'm gonna have for you guys is try to do some research about the area before you get sent to that place.
Yeah, you guys are gonna know in advance where you guys are going.
Yeah.
So just like research a little bit. You're gonna get your orders and stating the base and everything. So it's a good tip.
Do some research. Just find like a cab or an Uber before you arrive there, and have a place to stay. Usually you stay at the reception barracks when you arrive to your first duty station. I didn't, because my case was a little different. So they dropped me off at the hotel, but since I didn't know anything at the place, I was just grounded at the hotel and couldn't go anywhere because I didn't have a car or anything.
Damn.
It was very bad.
Sounds bad. You stuck there.
To say, when you already know what duty station you're going, probably like a month or two before you even go there. And then you're supposed to get a sponsor, which is someone already from that base that's responsible for picking you up, bringing you to the right place or where you're staying at the reception and processing and all that, and help you out. So everyone's supposed to have one.
Not
had
everyone
one.
does.
Yeah, I had
Nobody
one. In my group, luckily, I was leaving from San Antonio. We took the bus there, and then we stopped at the Killeen bus station, and it was horrible. It's super ghetto out there. If you guys ever come here, you guys will know what I'm talking about. It's just like super dangerous. It was kind of late. We were in a group of like 10 people, I think, and I didn't have a sponsor. I was just like left over there with all like those huge duffel bags we have, so you can't even like leave your stuff to go grab information, because then you're gonna get robbed and people are just gonna steal all your gear. So we're just freaking out there, and I will never forget first sergeant, his name is Lee, First Sergeant Lee. He didn't know us. He was not part of our group or anything. He picked up his soldier, but then he was like, damn, you guys are gonna be left alone here, like I can't let you guys be here left alone, like it's getting late. So he called one of his friends, and they brought like more cars. We were not even his responsibilities, and he took all of us and brought us to the base, like in processing. That's the attitude of saying that like good leadership were there. Like, guy didn't even know us, and he was not even our unit, and he was really disposed to help us. That was a great thing. So we went to processing. And then I think in processing lasts, if you're in 3CR, which I was, that was my first duty station, I think it's only about like a week of in processing. And then if you're in first cav, which you went, you have to do extra week or Pegasus.
Pegasus, it's for first med, I think.
No,
I don't
for
remember.
first cav.
Yeah, for first cav. I didn't do
extra
it
days.
actually.
You didn't?
I didn't do it.
Well, the soldiers
No.
that were with me, they were first cav. They had to stay there longer because they had to do this Pegasus training that we didn't have to. And then leaving from there, arriving at our duty station, like, you know, you're so new, you don't know anyone, you're just like, hi guys. And then you see everyone, it's just like, oh, that's the new. I was a private, I was a PB2 when I got to my unit. And I was just like so scared, so intimidated. When you see, like, you hear about officers, you're just like so scared of them. You're scared of sergeants, you're scared of everyone. Higher ranks, you don't even want to talk to them. And that's how I felt, at least, because that was my first like army experience. But people will treat you nicely, hopefully, if you are respectful.
Sometimes they're just assholes, bro.
My first day when I actually arrived to my unit, I am processed. The next day, they put me on staff duty.
Oh,
I
yeah.
arrived
Yeah.
there. Yes, I arrived there, and my platoon sergeant looked at me and the other guy that had arrived at the same time as me. He was like, "I need a person to cover for staff duty. You go." And I just didn't know what he was talking about at all. So I just stood there, and one very nice specialist took me to the staff duty and explained me everything. But yes, that was very awkward. First day in my actual unit, I did staff duty.
Shit like that'll happen too. To them, you're just another body, guys. They just, all right, cool. We need one for CQ. Awesome. But yeah, so they hit on like getting to your duty stations, right, and like the in processing part. Like for me, in processing, I got there in the middle of the night with like a couple other people, but they had like gotten there before me, so I was like the only other person there at the stupid welcome center, and they had to call somebody. So some of the CQ people from my unit came, picked me up. They put me in like the transient barracks because you don't know what unit you're going to yet, so it's just kind of like it's like a pit stop basically before you get to your actual like barracks room in your unit. And pretty much for the whole in processing process, I was there, and it was just lonely. There was like nobody else like in this barracks. I was like the only person, and I remember going to like Freedom's Crossing at Fort Bliss, like just to go do something. I took an Uber there, and I ran into one person I went to AIT with, and they said, "Yeah, like I'm here with like all the other people. Like we're in these barracks." I was like, "Bro, how'd they put you all together?" And I'm over here by myself. But in processing was like a week and a half, maybe. They tell you what unit you're going to. Fortunately enough, I had 3 other people from AIT that were going to the same unit as me, so we got there. And now this is kind of transitioning into once you show up to your duty station or like your unit, I guess, and you start meeting the other people. For me, it was like cool. Like our sponsor actually showed up. She was cool. She was a corporal at the time. She dropped us off at the unit. And then this is when like you're gonna see like the different types of people in your platoon, whatever it is that you're going to. Because as soon as we got there, we had one dude that was like super friendly. He was like, "Oh yeah, guys, blah blah blah, welcome." He's like, "Just stick with me, like I'll show you the way." And then he's like telling us like who not to like associate with. Turns out this guy was the one that was like getting bullied by everybody else, so he's just trying to make new friends and like get the new privates on his side. And like we saw that immediately, and because he was talking shit about like one of the females in like our platoon. And we're like, I don't know, she seemed pretty nice. She was nice to us. And she's like, "Oh, no, she's a bitch, blah, blah." I was like, I don't know, man. And so we just kind of stayed away from that guy. And then the other people in our platoon, they're like, some of them are going to be assholes to you because you're just privates and they're specialists and they just hate the army and they just hate their lives and shit like that. And
you know what's so funny? You said about hate. Everyone, like most people are just complaining like, "Oh, the army sucks. The army this, like I gotta do PT." Then why the fuck did you join? You already knew you had to do PT. You already knew you're gonna have to do that. So stop being that person that just complains. It's so annoying. And when I got to my duty station, I was so happy, excited, motivated. I'm still really motivated. And then they're like, "Yeah, wait, I'll give you like 2 months until you're really depressed like everyone else."
That's not gonna last.
Yes, this is not gonna last. She's gonna be happy for not like even 6 months. Well, I've been happy for 2 years already, and I love the army, and I will re-enlist.
There you go.
So don't be that guy that's like just complaining. Instead of that, just being the opposite of it helps you a lot. Like be the motivated person. I don't care if it's volunteer for everything. Even if it's like to take out
that's
the
a good
trash.
tip. Volunteer.
Yeah, like, hey, I need one person to take out the trash. I'll do it.
And I'm telling you, volunteering like pays off in the end. Sometimes, depending on your leadership. Because if you volunteer, like they're gonna take notice, be like, okay, this person's volunteering. But on the other end, if you volunteer too much, you're just gonna become the guy that does everything. Like we had one NCO that would always volunteer to do everything, and so if they had like a detail where like nobody wanted to do it, they just make him do it because he was the do it guy. And you don't want to be that guy because that sucks. Like you get stuck with all the shitty things. You're always gonna be working. There's always gonna be extra stuff on your plate, which if you can handle, cool. But to me, it's not worth it. Like I'll volunteer just enough, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to like volunteer. You know what I mean? But sometimes it paying off, like if you volunteer enough, they'll be like, oh, you know what? I need 2 people for this. And this happened like, because we were privates, we were always volunteering, you know, like you should. If you're a private, just do what you need to do, right? But we would volunteer so much that the next time they asked for people, we were like, oh, we'll do it. And he's like, no, not you guys. You guys are always volunteering. The specialists are never doing shit. So we're going to make them do it. And I was like, yeah, fuck you guys.
Also, like, I think I would say just standing out for the good reasons is really important. Don't be that guy that's like the late one. Make sure you plan. If you don't have a car or anything, just make sure you're gonna get there on time, way before the time. Make sure your uniform is good. Make sure you have your dog tags, your CAC always on you, because they will inspect. My other unit at 3CR, our NCOs would inspect us every morning. So after PT, when we went to work at 9, they'll be like, okay, CAC and dog tags. Whoever didn't have it, we had to like do push-ups and stuff.
Best thing to remember is right place, right time, right uniform. Just remember those 3 things and you will never get in trouble in the Army. I promise you.
Right attitude also.
Right attitude. I will also say though that if you do complain, do something while you complain. Be working while you're complaining. We had an NCO, here's our platoon sergeant that said like, look, I don't care if y'all complain. Just be working while you're complaining. That way the shit still gets done. I was like, you know what? I respect that. That's cool. Because sometimes, bro, when you're in the motor pool, you're going to be complaining. That shit's hot as fuck. You don't want to be there. You know these 113s are never going to run ever. But you still work on them. And it's just lame. So.
But also, I'm going to like advocate for the positivity here. If you complain, then you're just like making it worse. Just trick yourself and be like, that's not even that bad, and just do it. It's gonna be fast.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, fake it till you make it. That makes so much sense. Yeah. And
But if you can't do that and you don't have the bubbly personality that Ty has, just keep working.
But you don't need a bubbly personality. You just need strong grit. Like you just have to like focus on something and just do it because it's gonna be worth it. And like I said before, even though if you're volunteering to do things, if you're always the person that's like, oh my god, I have to do everything, like nobody's helping or whatever, there's always someone watching you. And when you least expect, someone is watching you and they'll be like, you know what, thank you for doing that, or you're gonna get a coin, or you're gonna get an award, or you're gonna get something.
And this is for my underachievers. You're gonna have a horrible life in the Army if you're do nothing, like high drag individual. Like you will get put on all the shitty details. You will get the short end of the stick because they don't care about you. If you're not gonna contribute to the team, they're gonna just find any way to screw you over, just put you on details because you're not contributing, so why do they need you there anyway? Like, oh, they just need a body? They're going to use you as the body for whatever it is they need. I'm telling you, like, we had dudes in our platoon like that. Like, they didn't want to, like, do anything. They would play dumb on purpose so they could get out of things. I'll tell you what, though. One of my buddies did that. He got away through his whole military career without having any responsibility. He played it right. He played just stupid enough to like where they didn't want to trust him with anything, and I was like, damn, bro, I respect that. That's cool, you did it. But just volunteer, be a good person, and now moving into the more social side of things and not necessarily like work related in the military. Make friends at your first duty station.
But
right?
also don't trust everyone.
That's true.
There's a lot of people that don't want to.
Yeah, not everybody has your best interest at heart, right? But like for example, when we got to our duty station, like the first day, like the specialists and them were going out to like dinner, and they invited us to go out. I don't think we ended up going because we just wanted to like settle in our rooms. But I do recommend going to those types of events. That way you can like get to know the people that you're going to be working with in your platoon. You can kind of gauge who's who, you know, what the social structure structure is in the platoon, like where the drama's at, so you can like avoid it, because there will be drama. The Army is just like high school, guys, just with adults, and you don't want to get involved in the drama. If somebody's talking shit about somebody, just don't even nod your head, just be like, okay, yeah, and then just move on, because then they're going to be like, oh, well, I heard this person talking shit to you about me, blah, blah, and then they're going to hate you for no reason. So avoid the drama at all costs, guys. Now, if you have a roommate, get to know your roommate. Make sure you guys have a good, like, you guys mesh well together, because if you have a good roommate, it'll make life way more fun, way easier.
Yeah.
Get a cleaning schedule between you guys, because you don't want to have a dirty roommate who's just like not doing the
And
dishes
please,
or
for
anything.
the love of God, shower, guys. We know so many people that don't shower. And that's disgusting.
Don't be known as the guy that doesn't shower.
Yeah.
Don't be the new guy that's dirty. You know what I mean? Can you guys think of anything else for first duty stations? Oh, I would say explore the base. Explore the base inside and outside, right? So if you're stationed at, for example, Fort Bliss, I was there. I hated that place at first because I didn't explore, right? I kind of just stayed in the barracks, didn't do a whole lot, but see what they have to offer. A lot of bases have educational centers, they have gyms, they have movie theaters. Like, it's crazy, and you're not going to find that out unless you go explore. And so the more you get the lay of the land, the more familiar you're going to be with the area, and you'll know, like, I promise you, when it comes to out processing or PCSing, whatever it is you're doing, you have to go fill out this sheet of paper and get stamps from a bunch of places you may not have ever been before. And the more you know where to find those locations, the easier it's going to be, right? And going out, right, outside of the base, like, there's a bunch to do. There's nightlife, there's, you know, maybe golfing, whatever you're into.
Boss.
Yeah,
I
Boss.
was about to
Boss.
say that.
Yeah.
It's a really good program in the Army. When you arrive to your first duty station, ask where is the Boss Center, because it stands for Better Opportunity for Single Soldiers. And they have a bunch of events almost like every weekend that you can go to, and it's free, and sometimes they have some really cool stuff going on.
You can
there.
make new friends over there. And also, like you said, explore the base. I found out of a lot of like good resources that they have. Like, you probably don't know because you're gonna get to your duty station, but they have legal. They have places that can help you with like legal matters. The gyms are everywhere, so you can like, you don't have to worry about like paying your off-post gym and spend your own money. You can do that. There is a fitness center. I forgot what it's called. It's like a group of people that will just help you to build up a plan, like a workout plan for you with diet, so you can be healthier. The opportunities are there. The resources are there. You just have to like go find them. Every base has a USO.
Yeah.
And then you can go to those. You can go there and just get flyers. You can ask questions like what things to do. Because if you're single, if you go to the barracks, please don't be that guy that will stay like in the barracks alone crying.
Bro, I'm telling you, just get your Tinder, set it to the colleges, set it to like wherever you're at. If you're in El Paso, set it for UTEP. If you're in Fort Hood, set it to UT, and just start looking outside of base, bro. Don't stay on base. Go find something to do
Yeah,
with
don't stay in
somebody.
your room.
Yeah.
That's so boring.
Like,
You're gonna get tired of the Army very fast
Like,
if you do that.
I'm telling you, if you're in a military town, chances are you will get some matches. on
Make
Tinder.
civilian friends.
Civilian friends, yeah.
Mhm.
And it'll be a lot easier. But that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Like, just hit on a couple things to like help you guys out, what to expect. It's gonna be a little scary, right? For some people are just super excited, they're ready to go. But once you overcome that initial nervousness, you realize it's not all that bad. It's just like going to basic. It's like going to AIT. It's like the first day of school, basically. First impressions matter, and just, you know, go in there with your head held high, with a good attitude, volunteer for things, and you're gonna be okay. And just overall, right place, right time, right uniform. You cannot fuck up. I promise you guys. I want to thank my guests for coming on here today and just sharing their input and experiences. I'll put their Instagrams down below in the description box if you want to check them out. And yeah, guys, follow me on Instagram as well at TheBenAllen, and join my Discord. There's over 400 people in there that can help answer y'all's questions as well. And yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.